Digital meteorologist Bobby Corser with you here in the Storm Tracker 2 Weather Center. I want to talk to you about what we're seeing coming up late Sunday, early Monday. We have a high impact atmospheric river that is going to come into the area, and unfortunately, we've got to dodge a bullet with some of the last ones. This one, though, looks to hit us kind of head on. So let's jump into that. You're looking at a rain total map now. This is going to start this morning, 7 a.m., and as we advance the map going forward, you'll see nothing a lot really till Sunday afternoon. Still kind of wet, really wet, though, along the coast and in the Cascades. Unfortunately, even with this system, once we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, it's all rain up in the Cascades. Snow level is going to be up above timberline about 7,000 feet. So unfortunately, no new snowpack coming for the ski resorts, and I know they badly want it and they badly need it. Advance the map even more as we get into Monday now. This is Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock. Look at these rain totals. 5 inches possible in Vancouver, 2.5 in Salem, over at 2 inches in Portland, up and down the coast, 2.5 to 5 inches. Total impact duration as we go forward into Tuesday, and we stop the clock there. This really stops Tuesday about 5 o'clock, so don't worry about saying Thursday. 9 inches in Vancouver, 4.5, just under 4.5 here in Portland, nearly 4 inches in Salem and Eugene. Newport, 11 inches, Tillamook, 7.4, Astoria, 4.6. These numbers are not far-fetched. These are not just one computer model. This is what we're seeing across the board with all of our computer models, and we'll get into that here specifically and show you that in a second. But when we talk about atmospheric river, this is a satellite photo that I took this morning. This is from about 24 hours ago on Friday morning. The area in green that you see that extends just to the north of Hawaii, coming all the way up in through the Pacific Ocean, and then you see the blobs over Seattle and Portland. That's what we're talking about with the atmospheric river. It's very narrow. I mean, that's about roughly maybe 200 miles wide, and in some places it gets down to even about 50 miles wide. So when we say there's an AR, it's literally just a fire hose pointed at you. This is what we saw yesterday and into this morning, and the next atmospheric river will follow the same trajectory. You can actually see it out there where you see the little arrow cursor. That's the next area of moisture that will eventually be spread really thin, and it focuses that fire hose into the Pacific Northwest. So that is a graphical representation of why we say it's usually really narrow and elongated versus a normal cold front, which is elongated north to south. This is more of that east-west orientation that we have talked about in the past. Now, here are your forecast totals going through today, into Sunday, and then into Monday. We'll stop this here coming up at Monday, 9:30 p.m. I'm going to discount the NAM 3K. That model specifically says we really don't see much rain, so I'm just going to kind of discount that and say that's an outlier. The other ones, the Euro, the GFS, and the Barron models that we use here in the Storm Tracker 2 Weather Center, these are gangbusters on rain, so we'll advance the map now into Tuesday at 1 o'clock. 5 inches is what the Euro says for Portland, over 5.5 for the GFS. The Barron 3K, they're high res, really kind of close in representation, again, saying almost 5 inches. And the Barron 15K is kind of going on the higher end with almost 8. And thankfully, it kind of stops there. But that's what we're looking at. And again, this is your 7-day forecast as we go forward. Showers today, and then it's rain Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday are really the heaviest rain. And again, we could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches in the Willamette Valley. In the Coast Range and the Cascades, higher amounts, maybe up to even 9, 10, 11 inches. A couple forecast models had some locations in the South Washington Cascades approaching 13 inches of rain. I would not be surprised to see that in maybe somewhere in the Willapa Hills or maybe even the Oregon Coast Range once this rain really kind of ramps up late Sunday night into early Monday morning. And if we do get stuck right under the fire hose, it's just going to continually rain. Not going to be all that windy. We'll still have wind gusts around 20 miles an hour. You'll notice it. It will be that blowing sheets of rain that we see when ARs do move into the area, but nothing above 25 miles an hour. So not really worried about trees coming down. However, I am worried that there are still leaves on trees right now, and that can block drainage basins. That can block your the storm grates, and that can cause urban flooding. But speaking of flooding, we're also really worried about creeks and rivers, especially in the Oregon and Washington coasts. The normal rivers and creeks that do flood with quick river rise Those are ones that we're going to be watching. So we're watching, of course, the Lucky Mute. We're watching the Grays River. We're watching a lot of the coastal rivers as well. So if you live near a place that does flood easily or is flood prone, just be prepared, because by midweek you will see the water rise pretty quickly. We're worried about urban and small stream flooding here in the Willamette Valley. Nothing too bad, but enough that we're concerned that, again, we want to make sure we kind of keep the drainage basins clear. We want to keep the storm grates clear of leaves and debris so the water can at least drain out. But we're looking at a lot of rain now coming up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's going to rain all weekend, unfortunately, and then the really heavy rain moves in, like I said, to start the work week. That's the latest that we have. Sarah will be along tonight. She'll have your updated forecast following college football at 11 o'clock. And then even more on Sunday afternoon. And then Rhonda Shelby in first thing Monday morning at 4 a.m. And she will have the latest as we really get the impact of this atmospheric river underway. Again, heavy rain. Looking at flooding potential along the Oregon coast and the inland valleys on those rivers that do rise relatively quickly. Again, lots of urban flooding as well in the low drainage basins that have not been cleared out. So just wanted you to be prepared. That's what we're looking at as we go forward this weekend and into the first part of next work week. Fortunately, if you're in the Cascades, no snow, as we said. Snow levels way up there above 7,000 feet. So that's the latest as we go through your Saturday morning. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and we will see you tonight on K2 News.